This sounds like it could be ripped from the soundtrack of some gothic 80s horror movie. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly and in this video I'm going to be listening to the album Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold. Now it's been a little bit since I've done an Avenged Sevenfold reaction here on my channel. I've heard two of their albums so far, their self-titled album and their third studio album City of Evil as well. And now I'm going to jump a little bit ahead in their discography and do their fifth album that they put out in 2010 called Nightmare. And yeah, I'm just really excited to check this one out and see what I'm going to think of it. Alright, so starting this album off is track 1, which is the self-titled album called Nightmare. Those drums are bringing so much energy. Yeah, they're doing some interesting things with the vocals. At times they kind of almost sound like they're more in the background. There's like this echoiness to them. I love how they stop the song like that at the end of the chorus and it's just his vocal for a second. It brings so much drama to this song. It's your fucking nightmare. I don't know what just happened there with that laughter effect. It was like he was laughing and then it just warped into this really demented sound. This piano really shines on this track. It stands out because it kind of gives it a sort of melodic touch. The rest of the song is really heavy and it kind of has this haunted, eerie quality. And then that piano kind of brings a little bit of warmth almost to its sound. It's your fucking nightmare. Well, that was track 1, Nightmare. At times, they would really pull back the sound and keep it really restrained, and it would take on this eerie, sort of haunted quality, and it almost had like an ambience, like an echoiness to it. And then at other parts, they would just deliver on so much energy, and they would bring a lot of that metal quality of their music through in the instrumentals. And like I said, I loved that piano too. That was just giving it a certain melodic touch at points, just really unexpected, but they blended it all together so well. All right, moving on to track 2 is Welcome to the Family. Hey kid, do I have your attention? Tragedy in this, welcome to the family. Hey, can you look at yourself? You can't win this fight. This song has such a snappiness to it, like this really quick back and forth delivery. I'll try and help you with the things that can't be justified. That guitar right there, man, it's just got such a dense sound to it. Alright, I wasn't expecting that. We got some more distorted vocals on this track too. I love how the chorus is so melodic and then it just gets into this really heavy, intense section. That was track 2, Welcome to the Family. Again, I loved the energy of that one. Such a great delivery. The guitars were really shining across that whole track. They just had so much intensity to them and such a heaviness, like a denseness to their sound. And again, with that track, the dynamics, like how they would take it from that lighter, more melodic sounding chorus, and then they would just pull it down into that really dense part right after where the vocals would get all distorted. Just so much sound and energy coming at you. I loved that one. But I'm going to move on to track 3, which is called Danger Line. something very militaristic, like very precise about that percussion at the start.
16 locked and loaded, fun is drawn. This one could be my last time. Nothing shocks you.
Again, with those vocals, they like using those, like the really kind of restrained, slightly distorted sounding whispered voice. I'm loving the contrast of the guitars on this song. You have these right here that are bringing a lot of heaviness, this sort of like dark scratching sound almost. And then the guitar here on the chorus almost has more of an electronic quality, just a lighter tone to it. I love how restrained this part is. It's got like a very touching quality to it.
I'm free.
Well, that was track 3, Danger Line. That one certainly brought a little bit more of a melodic touch to it, especially there toward the second half of that track. It kind of had this really restrained quality to its sound. I loved the percussion though. It was really unique. It stood out. It had this very precise quality to it, like a very sharp, clean tone. And it kind of contrasted there at the end with the melodicness going on with the piano and his vocals, and then those drums kind of cut through all of that. Up next is track 4, which is called Buried Alive.
Chances are that you might find that we share a common deal. I'm on my way.
There's a lot of little subtleties I'm picking up in the background on this track.
Hey, I can't live in here for another day.
That kind of just slapped you out of that little trance the beginning put you in.
And it seems I've been buried alive. Reaching higher, couldn't survive the fall.
Somehow their lead vocalist has this great ability to bring a lot of power to his voice. He has this certain delivery to his vocals where like a lot of energy is coming across in the sound of it.
And I'm chained like a slave, trapped in the dark. Seems I've been buried alive.
I absolutely love these electric guitars going on here. I have no idea what I just heard. Some sort of weird effect.
All out, throw you all around, get your fucking hands off me. Release the top within. This is now your life. Die buried alive.
Well, that was track 4, Buried Alive. I loved how that song progressed from beginning to end. At the start, it was very light and melodic, and it had more of a warmth almost to its sound. And then they started bringing that energy that I was kind of expecting. And then at the end there, it was just so heavy and dense. He was bringing a lot of intensity with his vocals, and it was almost mimicking like what he was saying, how life is kind of ripped away from you and you're buried alive, essentially. The sound of that song was almost mimicking those lyrics. Up next is track 5, which is called Natural Born Killer. So much speediness, my gosh.
One snap for the diet, one click to end the day. I'm begging you to walk in my shoes anytime. So this is the world you left.
That was a really cool transition there. We had all of those intense blast beats going on, and then it just got pulled into this sort of more meandering, relaxed tone for a second with that bass. so much heaviness. Man, this track is just bringing it. That was track 5, Natural Born Killer. I would say that's probably the song that's brought the most intensity to this album so far. That one just started and really didn't stop at all. The instrumentals were just going insane on that song. They brought a lot of denseness and all of those blast beats and everything from the drums. Alright, moving on to track 6 is So Far Away.
Never feared for anything. The broken heart with all that it could. Will you stay away forever? How do I live?
There is just some really subtle harmonization going on there. Very, very faintly.
Say, but you're so far away. A final song, a last request. A perfect chapter laid.
I love the twanginess on the guitars with this one. It almost has this very, very subtle country style to it. Just a little bit.
Turns the pages of the book, it's burned. And I'm not afraid.
Hear that vocal delivery there on the line "not afraid"? It's like that slight harmonizing going on. It's just bringing a sort of softness to this song.
Should live eternally far away.
I was gonna say, this started fading out and the track was only like half over.
The pain is strong and dark is right.
There's such a great smoothness to this song, like especially with his vocals. I'm noticing that there's like this soaring quality that they have to them.
So far away. I need you to know.
That was track 6, So Far Away. That was a really beautifully melodic song, actually. A lot of emotion with the delivery of that one. Definitely more pulled in, but they still found a way to bring through a lot of energy on that track. Like I said, his vocals just had this really big, open quality to their sound. He was kind of drawing the words out a lot too, and it just kind of lended like this really dramatic impact to him almost. But I'm going to move on to track 7, which is called God Hates Us. Oh yeah, here we go. Buckle in. This one's just hitting you over the head with the energy.
You wanna hear my side? You need to drown. God save us all.
Alright, and then a lot of vocal distortion on this one. Like this sort of garbled underwater quality that it has.
Nothing to heal. We just know our blind. My infiltrated mind.
Yeah, these guitars are right here. They're just so incredibly speedy. My gosh.
God save us all. God hates us. Lord, wait, kill. You better take your time.
I just love the instrumentals on this one. They're going absolutely insane. Okay, and just like that, they've pulled it back to that restrained part of the song, how it started. That was track 7, God Hates Us. Man, that one just brought so much energy to it. It just hit you over the head with the aggression. I loved the vocal delivery too. All of that distortion they had going on. Again, it brought like this really dark, haunted quality to that song. And the beginning too really stood out, how it started off so acoustic and minimal, and then the electric guitar slowly faded in, and then it was just like bang, they hit you with all of that energy. All right, up next is track 8, which is called Victim. such a deep, clear tone to this beginning. Such a great atmosphere.
House full of roses. Not okay. It's the end of all you know to feel. And some say this can't be.
I love how they introduce the guitar like that. You can hear it faintly coming in the background, and then the punch will hit you.
About the things we'll never know.
This verse is actually very relaxing. It kind of has this really laid back, gentle quality to it.
Some say this can't be real. We're all just victims of a crime. Yeah.
And then they change up the tempo all of a sudden, and it just becomes a lot more speedy.
Crime. I'm missing you.
I love these vocals. It's just lending a sort of peacefulness almost, like an angelic quality to this song. That was track 8, Victim. The beginning and end of that song were really unique, a very different sound for Avenged Sevenfold. Very peaceful, sort of heavenly sounding. It almost was like you were floating up into the air. And then the main part of that song, I loved how they were taking it back and forth between that more calm, subdued, almost mellow verse, and then they would change up the tempo and the chorus would get a lot punchier and it would bring that energetic surge. All right, moving on to track 9 is Tonight the World Dies. Again, that twanginess is back here on the guitars.
Lost the meaning of a stay. Out of my hidden way.
And then they just pull it right back down into this kind of weird, like twangy, tropical sound going on. It's so funky.
Take the time to understand. Remind me of my better days. Pretend. Silence.
His vocals on this one, on this chorus, when he's really just belting it out, it does remind me a tiny little bit of Corey Taylor from Slipknot. They both just have so much power to their voice. Well, that was track 9, Tonight the World Dies. Such a unique blend of sounds on that one. At times it was almost giving off this weird tropical vibe with those guitars, but then they would fuse on this sort of eerie quality, and then they would bring the punchiness too. Just so much blended together on that track. I absolutely loved his vocals on the chorus though. So much energy coming through with his voice, a lot of conviction to it. But I'm going to move on now to track 10, which is called Fiction. Oh, I love those stringed instruments kind of rising up in the background there.
Now I think I understand. Heard this piece just on the other side.
Is it just me, or is there like a tiny bit of harmonizing they're doing here?
I can, all that I want.
Yeah, I think this is a different vocalist now.
Promise me you'll never feel afraid. Not that I can.
Yeah, there's so much drama to this song, man. They're just building it up, and there's like this bombastic release of just energy coming through on the vocals especially.
I love it when they find your own way when I'm not with you.
These vocals are really strange. They've got like a really strong nasally quality to them.
Tonight, I hope it's worth it.
That was track 10, Fiction. I loved the heavy orchestral element of that one, how it had that piano and those stringed instruments. It almost had like a theatrical tone to it, which I know that Avenged Sevenfold definitely leans more into that side of things, but this album, I think it's been less so almost, and that track, the theatrical elements really came front and center again. And that one, the second vocalist really threw me. I was not expecting that, but I liked it. It kind of added a unique element to that song. All right, moving on to the final song on Nightmare is track 11, which is called Save Me. Man, so much heaviness. This sounds like it could be ripped from the soundtrack of some gothic 80s horror movie.
Sorry, did I? Is it something we said?
I love how they utilize these background vocals to almost create a sort of softness. It just creates a really cool dynamic with the lead singer's voice because he brings so much power to it.
Is it something we said?
That was impressive. He really drew his vocal out there for so long.
Is it something we did? If you hear me, let me know.
They keep changing up the tempo of this song. It'll kind of take on this more smoothed out quality, and then they just bring a lot of punchiness. The speed they play at is just so impressive.
Help me find my way. All rising to a degree.
Again, the use of the strings here is really cool. They're keeping it kind of pushed in the back though, like it's just a very subtle presence.
I say it just moves on. If you
I love how they just did that effect with the guitar. It was coming in with all of that heaviness, and then they just stopped it for a second there.
some guiding light, some place to go. Tonight we are.
I love that percussion there. It sounds like they're using the cymbal. It's just got such a lightness to it. Well, that was track 11, Save Me. They certainly decided to end this album on a finale of sound, that's for sure. That one just incorporated, I think, every single element that they used across this whole album was in that track. You had those awesome, like really dramatic, theatrical moments. All of that vocal distortion at times would come through as well. But then it would have those more melodic, restrained parts and a sort of tenderness almost to it as well, like more of an emotional impact. Well, that concludes my reaction to Nightmare, the 5th studio album from Avenged Sevenfold. I loved the atmosphere they created on this one. Nightmare is certainly an appropriate album title because it did kind of have like this really dark, creepy, haunted tone to it, and so much variety with the instrumentals and his vocal delivery on this one. I just thought they blended so much together on this record, and yet they made it sound really cohesive at the same time. Right now it's really hard for me to pick a standout track. The whole thing was just awesome to listen to, but I did really like the first 2 tracks, Nightmare and Welcome to the Family. Those 2 brought a lot of punchiness, just a great way to get the album started. Also track 4, Buried Alive. I liked his vocal dynamics on that one, how at times he would keep it really pulled in and it had almost more of an acoustic quality to it, and then they would just bring so much punchiness and he would unleash the energy. And also track 7, God Hates Us. I just loved the intensity of that one. But this whole thing was fantastic from beginning to end. I loved hearing this one from Avenged Sevenfold, and I don't know which album to do next in their discography, so definitely let me know in the comments. And yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.